What's up, guys? Welcome to Food Truck Diaries. We're eating some Caribbean food today at a LA food truck. I got a special guest, very special guest. You might know him as Jack Swagger. I know him as Jake Hager. That's right, Bellator's newest superstar is here, and we going Caribbean. Oh, what's up, man? Brendan, good, nice to meet you.
Got any oxtail?
Yeah, actually do have oxtail.
Oof.
Oxtail?
Have you ever had oxtail?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, it's so tender.
Really?
Yeah.
Oxtail?
Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah, I'll do oxtail.
I'll try his.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. That looks amazing.
Wow, thank you, sir.
You're the best. Thank you.
All right, so this is gonna be a challenge. Who can spill least on
I
themselves?
feel like green sauce is a bad idea. You know what I feel like is an interesting order is the oxtail.
Yeah, there you go, man. See,
Out of a food truck?
you got the bone with it, though. I mean, very rarely, I'm from Oklahoma, and when do I get a chance to eat Caribbean food? So I always go with the oxtail.
I feel like I feel oxtail you could eat, I don't know, everywhere in Oklahoma, or am I, is that, no, is that a myth?
No, not a lot of,
I feel like
not
it's
a
your
lot of ox
go-to.
there.
I feel like it's chicken nuggets in LA out there, no?
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, you gotta have the secret ingredient. It might be the strength behind my madness.
I agree, man. It's an interesting order. But it makes sense because you have an interesting story. You're fighting your first fight this weekend in Bellator. You went local promotions? Nah, let's just jump into one of the biggest in the world.
Let's go to the top, man. That's the great thing about MMA. You're gonna find out one way or the other, so let's go to the top.
Yeah, let's go to the top. And here's what I find most interesting about you is I was around a group of guys and we were talking about fighting and your name got brought up and someone goes, oh, he's just a WWE guy. And then I went, well, no, hold on. He was a WWE guy, but he has a legit amateur background. So because I think what happened here, and it's no shade on CM Punk, but because CM Punk was such a big splash in the pan,
yeah,
and it was a bad experiment that went wrong,
yeah,
so you guys get lumped into that. But if you take the guys like Bobby Lashley, Bobby Lashley, trained partner of mine for a long time, stud. You take, Brock Lesnar, stud. And then so you get the reason why those guys are successful and why I think you're gonna be successful, because you have a background, you wrestled at Oklahoma. Not only did you wrestle at Oklahoma, you're All-American. So it's not like you're just this guy who did WWE, you're like, yeah, man, that seems cool, I'm gonna walk into this. Like, you have this legit amateur background. And, you look at all the champions across all organizations, you can have a better background than wrestling.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, even while I was at WWE, I always had an eye on the MMA world and the rise in popularity in combat sports. You had to take notice. So I've been planning on this for about 5 years now, since about 2013, just trying to time it with the contract and when is best. So, dude, I mean, that cage is gonna be my best friend in there for sure. Get him up against there, get him down.
Did you not want to go straight from wrestling at University of Oklahoma to mixed martial arts? Because some guys do that.
Yeah. When my junior and senior year was like 05, 06 at Oklahoma, and it was becoming very popular. You'd have the big pay-per-view watch parties and stuff,
sure.
But still very new to it. Didn't know a lot about it. Didn't know a lot about jiu-jitsu at the time either, and really, I didn't have the opportunity right out of college. I had the opportunity to go to WWE, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see how I got to go into the entertainment field and kind of make a name for myself and get a following, and then see how that will help me go into such a brutal sport like MMA and capitalize on the time, because let's be honest, it's a short window. It's a
super short window.
Yeah.
But so is WWE. Like, I don't think a lot of the viewers or listeners know how much of a kind of a heavy load it is to become a WWE guy. You're on the road how many days a year? And it's not easy.
200 days a year, and then cramming into airplanes, cramming into rental cars, red-eye flights. It's fun because you get to travel the world and get to perform in front of like big crowds, big stages.
You enjoyed it? You loved it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, who doesn't like coming in front of 20,000 fans and having them all boo you? I mean, I love getting booed.
You were a heel.
Yeah. Boo me out of the gym, babe, and I'm gonna perform that much better.
Really?
No.
And then going from that, at what point did you start to kind of plant the seed that you're going to do mixed martial arts?
I had a college teammate of mine start fighting, and he had a fight in 2013 in Tampa, and we went to it.
Like a local show?
It was with UFC.
It was a UFC?
Yeah, Matt Grice was his name, and from then on, like the bug was planted. It was just a matter of when. And,
Did you look at that fight, or do you look at some fights in the UFC or Bellator and go, I can do that?
I definitely thought from watching it that like I could get in there with the heavyweights and move around just the same, and I know there's a lot more that goes into it, but it definitely was something that, like I think I could be very well at. You know, I'm a lanky guy. They used to call me Shins in high school, so yeah, let's use that.
Yeah, and so you first walked in the gym when? A mixed martial arts gym, a jiu-jitsu gym?
I think it was, we left the company in April of 2017, and
how did that, first of all, back up, how did that go? Did you just walk into Vince McMahon's office like, I'm all set, bro?
Oh man, the balls to do that. It's like anything else. You're doing it for a reason. You do it because you love it, but you're also doing it to make a living for yourself. And my contract was up, and I felt like I was worth a certain price, and they didn't value me at that. So I'd been there 12 years. I was like, all right, it's time to go somewhere else. A lot of the world knows me as Jack Swagger, as this pro wrestler, and not very many people know like what I really am. I've been wrestling since I was 5 years old, so I think it was time to get back to that, and it's been so beneficial for me mentally, physically, to get back at competing, which, some guys just need to compete, need to be punched in the face and go at it.
And was the WWE cool with you leaving? We're like, all right, have a nice life. Or were they kind of like a bit of dicks about it?
Well, after Saturday, they're gonna be begging me, but
they'll come back?
No, I left on good terms. I think, that's one thing you learn in life is manage your relationships.
Yeah, don't burn the bridges.
Yeah. And so they were cool. Even though we couldn't come to terms contract-wise, doors open,
And did you tell your fellow WWE guys that you were going to start fighting mixed martial arts? I feel like all of them are kind of into it. Like, I know Undertaker's a badass in jiu-jitsu. Obviously, Brock Lesnar, former heavyweight champion of the world. You got CM Punk. I feel like the crossover is the same fan base, 18 to 36 males, and no chicks, and real cockfest. And so I feel like that crosses over, but then also because maybe it is staged what you guys do, and it's not like a real form of competition. I mean, it's not a real life fight that a lot of WWE guys want to pursue actual mixed martial arts. Maybe for validation, I don't know.
It's a funny story. Brian Pillman was always one of my favorite wrestlers, and that whole angle that they did with him going to ECW and leaving the company kind of inspired me, and I actually pitched an angle to Vince saying, hey, let me act like I'm leaving here. Let me go do some MMA fights.
Good idea.
And then I'll come back. And I don't know if they just didn't believe in me, or they just didn't like the idea, or they didn't want to, share their talent or whatever, so they didn't really jump at it. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to leave and really do it now.
You rip off 3 to 4 wins, so especially in that Bellator heavyweight division.
We got a real life storyline going on here.
We got a real storyline going on here. And
sorry, no fork.
I did the same thing too. Just eat that tail like that, man.
Oh man,
I hope you don't get sick. You're taking the oxtail?
Put hair on your chest, man.
Really? I don't like a hairy chest. In LA, hairy chests aren't cool. I go opposite.
My wife always tells me that's what a real man looks like.
Really? Yeah, and in LA they're different. Yeah, they're like smooth like a seal, man. That's why I just eat the plantains.
Those are even spicy.
So, comparing a training camp or life on the road in WWE compared to the actual training camp you're doing now for your first professional mixed martial arts fight, similarities, different?
Well,
easier?
I mean,
because I'll say this, I will say this. I do have a couple friends who wrestle in WWE. and who have trained mixed martial arts, and they said the camp in mixed martial arts was actually easier. They got more rest, and because they were in one spot, they were able to recover more.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
You know, I always told Vince, is like,
she was the Diet Coke, but
I always told Vince, is like, the wrestling I'll do for free, you got to pay me for the travel.
Yeah.
You know, because it is so rigorous. There are a lot of similarities between the two and a lot of differences. You know, like anything, you have to love it if you want to be good at it. You really have to be willing to put in the time. And everyone wants to say like pro wrestling is staged and it's entertainment, but like the bumps you take, the bruises you get, they're real.
The falls are real.
Yeah, the physicality is very real. I mean, you can't jump off a 15-foot ladder and say that, you know, that's not real.
For sure.
So
the results are what's scripted, right?
Yeah. But like I took to pro wrestling so easily because I've been wrestling since I was 5 years old, and the technique on how you fall and even the moves are very similar. So that aspect of it, I would say, is very similar to the MMA training. And then, you know, of course you have your differences where you have to be in great shape. You have to be able to go, and you can't just like jump right into it and get good with MMA training. I feel like there's levels. You got to like keep climbing, and then you'll kind of peak off for a little bit, and then you keep climbing. It just comes with the skills you acquire and the shape you're in. And for me, the longest, you know, the first year of it was like getting in the necessary shape in order to get the skills, you know? Yeah, because a lot of it's experience. You got to get in there and with good people, good training partners to get those skills. How
has your striking been coming? Because obviously your opponent Saturday night knows you're a beast of a wrestler, your background at Oklahoma, so they're just gonna anticipate you taking them down. He's not gonna be able to do shit about it, but still, eventually you're gonna run a guy who can do something about it. Eventually you're gonna run a guy like a Bobby Lashley or a Brock Lesnar or, you know, Cain Velasquez, guys who can defend the takedown.
Right, so and I'm sure he's game planning against the wrestling, you know, working on getting off the cage. I think my hands are gonna surprise a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, I got a lot of length, and I've had great coaches to really work with me on it. Definitely got a long way to go, but I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people for a year and a half that I've been doing this.
Are you looking for a knockout, you think, Saturday night, or are you just going in there just to kind of get the win? You know what I'm saying? Because now in this day and age, especially you having a big name, there's obviously some expectations. Like people want to see you do well. And, you know, you just don't want to hold the guy down for 3 rounds. You feel any pressure to do that?
You know what? I don't feel a lot
of... Do you care? You know what I'm saying? Like some guys would just want to they just want to get a knockout, so people talk about it. You know, even though they have this amazing wrestling background, they risk it and just try to become flashy.
All I want to do is make a statement. You know, it's like you said, there's a lot of people wondering if I belong, want to compare me to that other guy that didn't do so well. I want to get in there and make a statement. I want people to turn their heads and say, wow. And whether that's a knockout or whether that's a huge double leg and a ground and pound TKO, I'll take either one.
Well, I love it, man. I think it's gonna be great for you. The way you're doing it in Bellator and your first one being here, and they're not throwing you to just the monsters right away. You gotta build up, man. I think with your background, you make some real waves, man. I'm rooting for you, brother.
Thanks, man.
I really am, man.
Thank you.
Good luck Saturday, brother.
Hell yeah.
Stay away from the oxtail, maybe. Can't have you getting sick on me. This is a food truck in LA, and you're eating oxtail. Mine's delicious, though. Yours is good?
You know what they say about wrestlers? We'll eat anything.
Is that what they say? You know what they say about kids in LA? We'll barely eat anything. Perfect, man.